I don't know if it is going to stop anytime soon, but what's the last 14 days been like for you guys at Defense Soap?
Been just, I mean, probably the busiest in company history by a long shot. Obviously moving a ton of product. Our disinfectant tablets made that EPA list of approved products effective against COVID-19. So obviously that news kind of hit us in a really good way. But as far as our staff and stuff trying to keep people safe, it's been a lot in a really good way. So really unique opportunity that we're just in the kind of the right place at the right time with our industry. Super sad and unfortunate some of these businesses being affected. And as far as us just kind of having that corporate responsibility to make sure that we're getting people products that are going to keep them safe and just kind of make peace of mind, giving people that our disinfectant tablets, we're limiting those to one per customer just to make sure that we don't have the hoarding and all that going on. And just having, like I said, having that responsibility to the community and to our customers.
When I look at that whole situation that we're talking about, if you want to say hi to him, you can say hi to him real quick, okay? But the whole thing is, we got another guy coming in to say hi to you again. The whole thing with the hoarding kind of blows my mind. And I asked you earlier today, I'm like, do you guys even have inventory? And then you told me about some of the measures you actually had to take because your tablets did make they made the EPA list of things that kill COVID-19. So obviously the demand, and this is capitalism, right? The demand goes through the roof, right?
Yeah, demand is incredibly high, and obviously our supply chain, we're going to have some kinks in that in the next couple weeks coming up with all kind of the panic buying going on. But we could have really easily sold out of just about everything. But like I said, limiting quantities to make sure that everyone has their fair share and are able to keep themselves safe. And like I said, the peace of mind I think is huge. That people are kind of changing the way they approach hygiene, the way they approach their safety and disinfecting needs and all those things, especially with schools, organizations, companies, things like that.
Mike Matton, I had Dr. Mike Matton on, and he's obviously a huge fan of the product. But he also told me, he's like, even if you don't have the bleach wipes, like Clorox has a bleach wipe, and there was Guy, real quick. Guy just made a cameo, by the way. But he was like, Zeb, even if you don't have Clorox bleach wipes, right? He said the Defense soap wipes are good to wipe surfaces down. He's like, it's better than not having anything. And so what did I start doing? I started wiping he said doorknobs. He said, because we couldn't get the Clorox wipes, obviously, because of the panic buying and the hoarding.
Right.
But I was wiping everything down with Defense, and then when we were doing our hikes afterwards, my kids would get all gnarly. I was wiping down, they were wiping down. Obviously, they'd get their shoes and their pants would be destroyed. And rather than taking all the bacteria from the streams and the creeks and the rivers and everything they were in, and the mud puddles, I'd wipe them down with that. So it's like essential to wipe everything down like frequently. And like you said, it's unfortunate, but how do you think you guys have handled it? It's kind of almost a windfall for you, but really unfortunate for other small businesses. How have you handled this and how have you kept up?
Well, I mean, like I said, obviously business, is good as far as the amount of orders coming and all that. The biggest thing, I think this is like a really unique opportunity for our business, not from a monetary standpoint, but just providing education. You know what I mean? Everyone is super concerned right now with their hygiene, washing their hands. I mean, a lot of this stuff may seem like overkill, but it's like practicing good hygiene is just a good defense, no pun intended, against a lot of the infections, the sickness, the flus. So from a business standpoint, yeah, it's good, but from an education standpoint, I think people kind of it's usually one of those things that's it's not a problem until it's a problem, and right now it's a big problem. So I think people implementing things that will kind of keep them safer and keep their businesses, their schools, their organizations a little safer, not just now, but in the future. I think we're going to be able to keep people healthier, cleaner, safer. So not just now, but I think in the future too. I think people, for the first time in a long time, kind of have their ears open to, all right, what do I need to do? And a lot more receptive to what's going on. So, obviously we have an obligation to provide products, but a huge component of our business are those content pieces, that education, telling people what they should be doing. And obviously, we're not the authority on a lot of these things. We're getting a lot of the advice from, our manufacturers, from chemical companies. So we're doing our best to get that information out there to keep people safe and make sure that they're doing everything they can to, keep them, healthy.
So if you've ever seen the movie Jaws, we're going to need a bigger boat.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
You're going to need a bigger boat. Like, you just got into this new facility in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And 100 Jaws just fell into your lap, right? I mean, it didn't fall in your lap. Guy earned his way there. There's no question about that. But you're in this gritty factory, and I told you you're not as tough anymore but now you're in this new facility, and you might outgrow the new facility in 6 months.
I hope so. That'd be a good thing. That's something we'll have to figure out. But I think this is really unique opportunity to get our foot in the door with a lot of places that we probably otherwise wouldn't have. We talked earlier. I was on the phone with an executive at Ford the other day. Coca-Cola Regional called, and they're all just kind of frantic as far as what we need to do. So it's kind of cut through a lot of the red tape. Again, it's a really fortunate thing from a business standpoint, but I think just providing some comfort to these organizations that obviously have a lot of pressure from corporate, from their customers, from a business standpoint. I think we have a responsibility to them to put their customers' minds at ease, put their employees to workplaces, and just creating safe environments for everyone, to the best of our ability.
So you're obviously a genius. You graduated from Cornell. I like throwing that in there. But I guess you can't run the forklift because the credits didn't transfer over. They didn't jive or whatever. But being, a guy, an Ivy League grad, this thing it's for real. It is for real. And I don't think a lot of people, obviously New York City, one of your rival schools, Columbia, is in New York City. New York City did not take it seriously.
I know. And I think that's the problem. Is like, regardless of where you stand on it, I think taking a lot of precautionary measures, a lot of people are like, I'm young, it's not going to affect me. I'm like, you got parents, you got grandparents. So I think the biggest way to look at it, even if you're, kind of a skeptic about it, would be, the cost of doing all this stuff. From a health standpoint, I just don't really see the cost of not doing it. I mean, we could see what happens really quickly. So I think just taking it a little more seriously, I think it's starting to scare people more and more, which, it causes the panic, it causes the toilet paper shortages and all that. By the way, we sell wipes.
Hey, you know what? Do you want to know in this whole thing, when they had people made the run on the toilet paper, you guys just gave me like 2 cases of wipes, and I haven't had a chance to give any of them away yet. And I was, because everything got canceled, right? And I'm like, we're actually good because we got a bunch of wipes. We're good. Seriously, we're good. I told you, it saved me this summer at Rocky Mountain National Park. I think I told you the story out on the trail. It saved me. It was a pretty ugly situation. But, yeah, man, like, you guys sell wipes. That's the other thing. You guys, you're not, like, do you remember you guys ran out of wipes about 14 months ago? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was brutal.
Now you're not in that situation. Now you got the pallets. You have a wipe guy who makes wipes 8 hours a day, 5-6 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, the demand for those has always been really high. That's probably always, obviously our bar soaps and our gels, we move a ton of those. But wipes is just not even from our company, but just as a kind of as a product category. Body wipes, guy was talking about today, like 15 years ago, body wipes weren't all that like ubiquitous, and now you see them just about everywhere. Dude wipes and all these other companies coming out with things. So I think that product category has just grown a ton. And the demand for that is just like really skyrocketed. And right now, obviously, with the shortage out, just about everything is becoming in short supply.
I know that you and Dan put in like 80 plus hours last week, and I know that Guy really grinds, right?
Yeah.
Guy's outworked you guys, I bet you. Guy isn't at home with his kids. Guy is there working. He probably put 90 hours in if you guys put 80 hours in.
I mean, it's kind of all hands on. The last couple of weeks has just been like everyone just kind of keep your nose to the grindstone and just find a way through it as a team. Luckily, we have just an awesome team of people that care a lot about the business we're in. They care a lot about wrestling. So I mean, we're super fortunate. Obviously, to have a leader like Guy that's willing to put in that time and kind of lead from the front. I think it just says a lot about his character. his ability to manage a business, his ability to be a head coach of a program like West Shore, the feeder program in the St. Ed's. I mean, we're checking off so many boxes as far as, things that you want to follow, and people you want to be around.
So, what are you, 33 or 34? How old are you, Charlie?
35. Thanks for bringing it up. Come on, man.
I'm 40. So, in your lifetime, you've been so dedicated. You obviously went through the St. Ed's program where you were 3-time state placer for them. Greg Urbis teaches you guys so much about like dedication, doing the right thing all the time. But wrestling's never taken a back seat in your life to anything until now. Wrestling, this is the first time in your life, would you say, Charlie, that wrestling or coaching or the sport has taken a back seat in your life ever?
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a big part of my life for so long. We kind of had our season cut short from the high school level all the way to the kindergartners, and work just, skyrocketed to the top of that list because, number one, the demand, and number two, just like I said, that responsibility to, serve our customers, our community, and then taking on a lot of new, different opportunities that have kind of presented themselves to us. So, it's like I said, it's been all hands on deck. We're finally settled in here. So, had coffee this morning with Guy and Dan, sat down. It was awesome. We got in here yesterday at like 5:30 after a really intense badminton game. So it's like starting to get back to normal as far as day to day, but it was pretty touch and go there for a while.
How right now your drive, there's no traffic on your drive, but now you got this drive introduced into your life that you didn't have for the last couple of years.
Yeah, so it was 2 miles before, and now we're looking at like 35. But to be honest, listen to my podcast, cup of coffee, no traffic. It's kind of been nice. Dan and I were talking this morning. I'm like, this drive is actually kind of relaxing. So I'm making the best of the situation. Obviously, no one wants to make their commute like 20 times longer. But I, obviously find the silver lining, just a little more time to myself, which, I don't get a ton of it during wrestling season, especially. So it's been nice.
All right. Can you just give me a little tip down? Okay. Can you tell me how did your grandpa? What's the deal with Chief Wahoo? Just tell me. I don't even know the story.
So I think I don't know what I don't know what iteration he did. He claims he did this, but sometimes I find some inconsistencies with the story. So, but no, he was the art director of the Plain Dealer.
Who's your grandpa? Who's your grandpa? Tell everybody. Not everybody knows who your grandpa.
Vince Matucci.
That's your mom's. That's your mom's dad.
My mom's. Yeah. Correct.
Mom's dad. Okay, so Vince Matucci.
So obviously, he's been a huge part of my life from a wrestling standpoint, and then just as a grandpa. He's just an awesome guy.
Is he good right now? Is he okay right now?
Yeah, he's hanging in there. Obviously, I can't really see him, with everything.
Yeah.
He's in with my mom now. My mom's taking awesome care of him. He's good. I mean, no major health problems. Just, at his age, he's a little more care at this point in his life, as you would expect.
Was Vince a state champ?
He was part of the 1951 West High state championship team with 6 state champs.
That's the greatest team ever. Until some of these like Graham teams and we're talking in an era.
My grandpa's argument for this is I think Graham had 7.
Yeah.
Out of 14 weight classes, which is half the weight class, and my grandpa said they had 6, and there was only 10 weight classes then, so it was 60%.
He's right. He's right. And if you look at the Genoa team, Genoa had 6 champs last year. How many times have you guys had 6 champs, Eds?
Never. I don't think we ever had.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. Yeah.
I remember.
I know the 2000 team had 5 because it was Lang, Bertine, Leonard, Jane, and Zach Schweda. And I think Mose was second then. I mean, we've had like 7 or 8 finalists before, but we've never had more than 5 champs.
Wow, I didn't realize that. And then like Genoa last year, and then Graham's done the 7. But like you're saying, he was in a different era. And then was he one of the 6 state champs?
He's one of the 6. And the story he always tells is that Rocco, I think, he had blown out his ACL the week before. And everyone on that team, that all the old timers are like, Pepe was by far the best. Who God rest his soul, he just passed recently. But that team, and on top of it too, my grandpa, affectionately says, we grew up on the same 2 blocks. Like their kindergarten picture, I think there's 5 of the state champs. He's like, all these other teams got kids from all over the state and all over the country. He's like, we grew up on the same 2 blocks, just, the old Italian neighborhood that, super tough guys, blue collar.
Pepe Rocco is Italian? Pepe Rocco? That doesn't sound like an Italian name.
I know.
Charlie Agozzino. That doesn't sound. Those don't sound like Vince Matucci. Those aren't very Italian names. What are you talking about,
and
Charlie?
obviously Dick Bonacci.
Dick Bonacci. Not very Italian at all. These are like the least Italian names ever.
Dick wasn't a part of that team. I think he had just graduated the year before. But Coach Bonacci obviously has just been a huge influence in guys' life. He actually coached with us at West Shore, and he's 86. He still gets on the mat and shows moves. I'm not kidding either. It's awesome. Having him around is special.
Is Cleveland State only had like 4 head coaches, right? It's been like Dick Bonacci, Effner.
30 years?
Yeah, Dick Bonacci, Effner, and then Stahura and Josh Moore. I think that's the only. I think if
Josh is doing just an awesome job.
Josh is killing it, dude. I'm actually
a lot closer with Josh since working at defense. Even like having like Flynn around, Flynn Musser. I always tell him, even though he wrestled for Walsh, it was something that I always looked up to. Just so tough. And seeing him back in the area, helping out Cleveland guys, it's really cool to see. I've got to speak with him a lot this year. And just picking his brain on coaching and technique and all that stuff. So him and he's someone that I really idolized growing up. I've told him this many times. And then having like Dave Riggs around, guys like that. I mean, I'm literally coaching with the guys that I've kind of idolized. So it's been a treat to say the least. Between Bonacci, getting more time with the Cleveland State coaching staff, getting to coach with Dave Riggs with his grandkids. It's been special. It really has been.
So none of us know what the next basically 2 months holds, Charlie. What do you think the next 2 months holds for you guys at Defense Soap?
I think we're on the phone daily with our suppliers right now to make sure that we're able to get things in stock, to make sure that we're providing stuff. We'll probably continue to limit quantities on certain things. It's not like I said. As good as business is, it's not just about money. It's providing things to the community at large. I've been working a lot with the local community here of Vermilion. I was on the phone yesterday with the library. I think everyone's just trying to navigate a really different time and way of life. It's scary, it's challenging, but I think like seeing everyone come together, spending more time with family, valuing relationships, putting things in perspective. And I think even in the toughest times, I think knowing how to show gratitude for things that are important to you is just, that's what successful people do. So you could cry and bitch and moan about it, but I think kind of taking the high road and taking it as an opportunity for whatever it may be in your life, I think is something that, like I said, successful people do.
Speaking of gratitude and being thankful, I have next to me my box. You remember I was like, hey, I need a personal box. Because you guys give me stuff to give out. We switched out a bunch of oatmeal bars for the new design. And then, so you gave me 3 boxes of oatmeal. That was what I was going to give away at NCAs. And then you gave me, obviously, these samples. These are my favorite. This is the easiest. The sample is just, dude, this is just like where it's at. There you go. There you go. There you go. So anyhow, like, this is just so easy for someone like me to give away and have in my pocket. I'm always packing, right? I'm always like, guys, like, do you always have one in your pocket? And you already know the answer to that. But the box of things that I got in gratitude,
it's the best.
Dude, it's a gallon. It's a gallon. Hold on. And if you want to talk seriously, this right here, that's the lifesaver right there. I got a couple of these, and then, of course, refills. Dude, this is what we're washing our hands with right now. This is what we're using 20 times a day, each of us.
That's such a that hand soap.
Dude, it's amazing.
It's always been one of my favorite products. We've sold probably more hand soap in the last month than maybe in the previous 5 years combined.
That foaming peppermint is amazing.
So good.
It's like
in every bathroom in my house. So
yeah, if I go in right now, there's no gimmick. Well, my wife has a roadblock set up so that certain people can't get in this room right now, or I'd walk you in there and show you. But it's wild because I have so much of it and I use it. I use it on a daily basis, and then, like I said, I haven't been able to give any wipes away yet. And think about that. Think about the giveaway in the next 2 months when I start giving stuff away to people and promoting the product. Like, think about how thankful they're really going to be at this point.
Yeah. And like I said, this time I think is after this kind of dies down, I think people will just be a little more cognizant of personal care, hygiene, and then just like, keeping their places, their houses more clean, their kitchen counters, and being a little more cognizant of, some of the things that can harm you out there.
Okay, so I got some custom stuff made here too by Barbarian. Did you see this yet?
What does it say? Ohio Wrestling. That's pretty sweet. Oh, defense on the bottom. New logo. I like it. We got new stickers too. So next time you're back, we gotta get some stuff out.
I'm in. I see Guy just popped in there, so he might have stuff for you to do. Oh, there's that one.
All right, nice.
See those?
Yeah, I love the new rollout's been awesome. The feedback. Obviously, we polled our customers. We reached out to I think like 1,500 people. We had a couple different concepts, and this one was overwhelmingly the favorite. But I think it turned out great. As more and more SKUs are coming out, I like it. It just gives us a.
Oh, you mean this? This one? That guy? That guy? Him? Yeah. 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 Hey, okay. I know that you probably got stuff going on. I don't want to cut you short. Do you got anything else for me?
No, the family of Bill.
All right, buddy. Thank you for the time. As soon as I can, I'm going to get out there. And if we end up going into this podcast format moving forward, you're obviously going to be one of our first guests, you, Guy, and we'll be able to do it remotely. So I think that this is going to be something that could be a hit. And I've been getting a lot of good feedback. But all right, man. Thank you for the time. Stick around. Defend what you've built, Charlie. Thanks for the time, and stick around, all right?
All right. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.